A bizarre day, the peak of all Roblox JoJo games on the Roblox platform for a very long time. Today, we'll be talking about what exactly happened during its downfall and what has happened after 2 months. If you don't know what a bizarre day is, it was a game based off of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure where players could obtain stands and powers and just hang out or fight other players. Today, we'll be going over the details of the why and when of how this king standing at the top of the world with 10 to 20k players playing at the same time fell to the bottom and what's going to come after. Now, this doesn't mean the game is non-existent. There are still 1 to 2k players playing it every day. However, compared to its former self, it's a lot less of what it used to be. Also, some dates may be wrong because certain messages were deleted and no longer existed. Either that or I just can't find them on Discord. We'll begin the story back on September 19th, 2020. This was when the previous owner, the guest to blame, had retired from the game simply because he no longer had motivation for the game, and well, the community was just a tiny bit toxic. After Guest had retired, the co-owner of A Bizarre Day, Nato, took over. This made a lot of people worry since it was made clear by him that he had no prior knowledge of working in Roblox Studio with scripting or modeling, causing many users to bring up questions such as, is this the end of ABD, or ABD will die? Okay, that last one wasn't a question, but you get the idea. During this game, a certain game was on the rise. You might recognize the name of a game known as a universal time. These two communities of these games constantly fought each other over which game is better, which is honestly a waste of time, although that's hypocritical of me since I made 2 videos on the subject. This may bring up a question to those of you that have never avidly played A Bizarre Day. Okay, the owner retired and there's another game on the rise, but that shouldn't kill off the game? Well, here's exactly what caused the game to suddenly start falling. On October 4th, 2020, it was announced by Zeno that ABD would be getting a complete rewrite from scratch with new sounds, animations, and that A Bizarre Day would now be turned into a sandbox of sorts, where players could obtain essentially any stand that they wanted very, very easily, completely killing off the trading community. Now, these next events happen in a rather short time span, so I'll just say them really quickly. The next day, there was an exploit that caused flashing lights, so the game had to be closed shortly for people affected by epilepsy and their safety. The game would also no longer be getting updates, although it's still getting minor updates. And many YouTubers were completely switching their content to a universal time and leaving A Bizarre Day behind. Many developers and staff members also announced their retirement from A Bizarre Day, some of which include Dawn, Plank, Dark, and Shuts, although I'm not exactly sure if his retirement was within this time frame. Some other changes such as Adam, a developer, became the co-owner alongside many other different changes that I won't list now. That essentially brings us to now. The developers are now working on ABD Rewrite, or also known as ABD 2. You think if anything changed, something could have gone differently? Will ABD Rewrite revive the community? Who knows? All we can do now is cherish memories from the game. Let me know if I missed anything. I tried to go over the main points. We talked about a universal time a lot today since it related to the story. So speaking of a universal time, here's another question. How did the universal time go from 40 to 50k players concurrently playing daily to now around 10 to 20k? Where did all of those players go? Well, that's a story for another time.